viewers, I'm Sadia Khan and you're watching YouTube channel Learn with Sadia. My topic for this video is chlorophyta. Chlorophyta, which is also called as chlorophyce. See, as we know, thallophyta is subdivided into chlorophyta, phaeophyta and rhodophyta. So in this particular video, we are not going to study about phaeophyta and rhodophyta, but we will confine the video to chlorophyta. We will now discuss chlorophyta. See, chlorophyta is a taxon which includes green algae. Okay, all the green colored algae are included in chlorophyta. So in nature there are around 70,000 species of green algae. So you need to remember this point. In nature there are about 70,000 species of green algae. So these green algae or all the members of chlorophyta, they have unique plant body. Few of them have unicellular, few of them are unicellular forms, few are present in colonial form and few are present in filamentous form. Okay, and coming to their location, 90% of them grow in fresh water. So among these 70,000 species, 90% grow in fresh water and only 10% of this green algae, they are the marine forms. Usually these marine forms are seen in tropical regions. Okay, now we have different kind of algae. In green algae, again we have different types. Like some are subaerial and they are found as sheets and on damp soil. They are forming columns. So some are subaerial and found as sheets on damp soil. On wet soil they are found as, like, we feel as if some sheet is covered on the soil, but that sheet is actually made up of green algae. Example of such sheet forming algae are Eulothrix and Wacheria. Eulothrix and Wacheria. Okay, so there are some algae which are growing on plants called as epiphytic green algae. So example of epiphytic green algae is species of Protococcus. Then we have epizoic green algae growing on animals. Epizoic algae include species of Cladophora. So we can say that species of Protococcus are epiphytic, species of Cladophora are epizoic. Then next we have an example. You can see in the very first line here, Cephalaris. Cephalaris is a green algae which is parasitic in nature. Okay, Cephalaris is a green algae and it is parasitic in nature. Here you can see this Cephalaris. It is a green algae and it is parasitic in nature and it causes rust diseases of tea leaves. Then we have Chlorella. Chlorella, it is a thermophilic species, thermophilic, which can withstand high temperature. So it is a thermophilic species that can be found even in hot springs. And then we have one more species, Chlamydomonas nivalis. Chlamydomonas nivalis, and it is found in the snowy region. Here we need to remember three examples: Cephalaris, which is a parasitic green algae. Then we have Chlorella, which is a thermophilic species. Then we have Chlamydomonas nivalis. Chlamydomonas nivalis, which is usually found in the snowy region. Okay, then see what is now let us study about the pigments present in chlorophyta. The pigments present in chlorophyta include chlorophyll A, chlorophyll B and beta carotene. See, chlorophyll A and chlorophyll B, these are the most common pigments which are also present in the terrestrial plants. So these pigments, chlorophyll A and B, they are helping in the absorption of blue light and red light. They are helping in the absorption of blue light and red light. Then coming to beta carotene, what is the role played by beta carotene? Beta carotene, the role of beta carotene in chlorophyta is It prevents the cell damage from bright light. See, when the temperature is very high, when the light is very bright, so they may cause damage of cells. So beta carotene is helping or preventing the cell damage from bright light. So I just told you that these are the pigments present in chlorophyta cells. So where are they localized? Where are these pigments present inside the cell? These pigments are definitely present inside the chloroplast. So chloroplasts are nothing but they are the structures, pigment containing structures present in terrestrial plants. In the same way, chloroplasts are present in chlorophyta. But here we need to remember that different green algae are having different shaped chloroplast. Like I will tell you, cup shaped chloroplast. We can see cup shaped chloroplast. Okay, here you can see the shapes: discoid, plate like, reticulate, cup shaped, spiral, ribbon shaped. These are the different kinds of the different shapes of chloroplast. Okay, here cup shaped chloroplast is C for cup and C for chlamydomonas. You can remember this way. Cup shaped chloroplast are found in chlamydomonas. Spiral, or we can say ribbon shaped chloroplast are present in Spirogyra. So spiral present in Spirogyra. Then we have star shaped chloroplast. Star shaped chloroplast are generally present in Zygnema. A green algae by name Zygnema contains star shaped chloroplast. Then collar shaped chloroplast are present in Eulothrix. Collar shaped chloroplast are present in Eulothrix. Then we have a reticulate chloroplast in Edogonium. Then we have disc shaped chloroplast in Chara. Okay, so different shapes of chloroplast are found in different green algae. And one more thing about the storage of food material. How do they store food material? Most of the members of chlorophyta, they are storing the food materials in storage bodies called as pyrenoids. Okay, these pyrenoids, where are they located? Food is stored in storage bodies called pyrenoids. So where are these pyrenoids located? They are located again in the chloroplast. All the pigments are present, different shaped pigments are present in the chloroplast. Pyrenoids, storage bodies, they are also present inside the chloroplast. So what is the structure of a pyrenoid? How a pyrenoid looks like? It contains protein besides starch. It means it contains protein in the center, and that protein is surrounded by starch. Outer layer of the pyrenoid is starch. The center layer of the pyrenoid is protein. So it almost appears like a round ball like structure is a pyrenoid. Okay, so pyrenoid here is nothing but storage body, that's it. But there are few green algae which are storing food in the form of oil droplets also. Okay, so there are several examples of green algae. Like here in the list you can see Chlamydomonas, Volvox, Eulothrix, Spirogyra, Chara. These are all the examples of green algae. See here, usually most of the scientists and most of them believe that these green algae, they are the ancestors of the present terrestrial plants, because they also contain chlorophyll, they also contain pigments in chloroplast, and terrestrial plants also contain pigments. There are few resemblances, but still scientists did not come to 100% conclusion that both the green plants as well as the green algae both are same. This kind of conclusion is not actually drawn yet. Now we will speak about the reproduction in green algae. So reproduction usually takes place by vegetative method. So if it is vegetative reproduction, it takes place definitely by fragmentation. Or it can occur by formation of different types of spores also. In case of asexual reproduction, usually flagellated zoospores are produced in zoosporangia. Flagellated zoospores are produced in zoosporangia. See, there is a structure called as zoosporangium and it is producing zoospores. Okay, so these zoospores are usually involved in asexual reproduction. So sexual reproduction is also seen in various type of green algae. So in sexual reproduction, it might be by isogamy or anisogamy or by oogamy. So in sexual reproduction, again there are different kinds. In my another video you will get to learn about definitions of isogamy, anisogamy and oogamy. Okay, here there are three methods of reproduction in green algae: vegetative, fragmentation, asexual by spores, sexual by isogamy, anisogamy or oogamy. So this is a little about reproduction in green algae. Then we have the next side heading, as you can see in the picture, unicellular green algae. We will study a bit about unicellular green algae. See, for studying unicellular green algae, we will consider Chlamydomonas as our example. See, Chlamydomonas is a green algae which is usually growing well in the ponds, ditches, wet soil. I mean, we can say wherever moist conditions are there, these Chlamydomonas are usually growing very well there. And this Chlamydomonas is a green algae. It is a green unicellular algae and it is having egg-shaped structure. Okay, and it has one pair of flagella. And we have cup-shaped chloroplast. As I told you previously, C for cup, C for Chlamydomonas. Chlamydomonas has cup-shaped chloroplast in which different pigments are present. And we need to remember that there is no vacuole in unicellular green algae. A large vacuole is absent here, but instead of that, two small contractile vacuoles are present. So let me revise. There is no big vacuole. There are two small contractile vacuoles present. Done. This is about unicellular green algae Chlamydomonas. We will then read colonial green algae. The example for colonial algae, which is a most common example I can say, is Spirogyra. Okay, this Spirogyra is filamentous green algae. Initially I told you green algae can be colonial, unicellular or filamentous, multicellular. Here it is a filamentous, usually present as thin filaments. So this Spirogyra is also called as pond scum, and this pond scum or Spirogyra, it reproduces in two ways. It can reproduce by vegetative method or it can reproduce by sexual method. So we have one more example of colonial green algae, that is volvox. You can see here in the third line, volvox. Volvox colonies are more amplified in the sense it consists of 500, see, more amplified in the sense here they are more in number. In a particular colony of volvox, there might be 500 to 50,000 cells, and these cells are arranged to form hollow spear-like structure which is hollow in nature. It is formed. So colonial green algae, we studied two examples, Spirogyra, volvox. Spirogyra is otherwise called as pond scum. Okay, volvox is having more amplified growth. So this was about colonial green algae. Now moving to multicellular green algae. Here the example which we study about multicellular green algae, which is marine, is ulva, ULVA. Ulva is a multicellular green alga and it usually appears bright green in color. Okay, it is very bright green in color and it is usually present near rocky seashores. And it has a specialized tissue, or we can say a specialized body part called as holdfast. Okay, holdfast is nothing but we can consider it like a base for itself to attach it to surface. It has holdfast to attach itself to rocks so that it can take the support of rock and stand. Okay, like ulva, there are many other multicellular green algae, and they are found both in fresh water as well as marine water. Hope this video was of good use to you, and I hope this will help you in studying the topic Chlorophyta. So if you like my video, do not forget to share the video, like the video, and comment the video. Thanks for watching.